Ms. Andrea Ivana D'Aquino and Ms. Anne Elizabeth D'Aquino are your class speakers. The Provost's Selection Committee chose Andrea and Anne for this honor from a group of outstanding candidates nominated by our academic programs. On this last April 1 midnight, Andrea and Anne were staring in disbelief at their computer screens, wondering if they were the victims of some practical April Fool's Day joke. But the life-changing announcement was real. Both of them were recipients of the National Science Foundation Graduate Research Fellowship, which will provide them both with significant funding towards obtaining their doctoral degrees. The D'Aquino sisters came to Western Washington University not sure of what they wanted to major in, but were thinking actually about becoming police officers. A general university requirement introduced them to the world of chemistry, and it became their passion. Both excelled at research, working closely with mentors such as Professor Mark Bassell, Associate Professor Clint Spiegel, and others. They presented at regional and national conferences and won many awards. Both Anne and Andrea have been active outside the classroom as well. The sisters are respectively president and vice president of the Western chapter of the Society for the Advancement of Hispanics, Chicanos, and Native Americans in Science. They also volunteer with the Food Sense Nutrition Education Program and the Compass to Campus Mentoring Program. And together they did a research project on Agent Orange in Vietnam, which resulted in their first co-authored publication. The daughters of Joao and Catherine D'Aquino, Andrea and Anne, were born in San Diego and raised in Bellingham, where they graduated from Squalicum High School. After graduation, they plan to attend Northwestern University in Evanston to pursue doctorates in chemistry. Please welcome your class speakers, Andrea and Anne D'Aquino.
Parents and family members who were lucky enough to be selected as the Elite Four and receive the coveted graduation ticket to this warm and crowded ceremony, welcome and thank you.
To the faculty and staff who have joined us to celebrate the incredible achievements of the graduates and have been mentors and advisors to so many of us, thank you.
And finally, to the graduating class of 2014, the linguists, the scientists, the journalists, the writers, and the philosophers, we made it. For some of us, it took 5 years, maybe even 6, instead of 4, but we made it nonetheless. We survived the long nights of studying in Wilson Library and the even longer nights wishing we had not procrastinated on studying while drinking double-shot espressos and venti lattes. We overcame challenges and obstacles which just 4 or 5 years ago we may have never dreamed of encountering. Congratulations. Oh. That's not the end. Okay, I'm Anne.
And I'm Andrea. And it's an incredible honor to stand before you today as your student commencement speakers. However, we know all of you are anxiously awaiting your own chance to step onto the stage, and so we'll make this address brief and present to you just 2 important lessons which we've learned over the past 5 years here at Western.
Today, we hope to emphasize the fundamental role of desire behind every achievement.
And additionally, stress the necessity of embracing and promoting diversity in order to improve our communities and advance our fields of study.
Every single one of us has faced challenges and obstacles during our time here at Western. Whether it's being away from our family's home-cooked meals, sprinting to catch the bus only to hear the doors close and then watch it pull away from the curb, or even trekking across campus in the pouring rain wearing a skirt and sandals when just hours before it was sunny. We've all overcome a challenge.
We stand here telling you this because we are certainly no stranger or exception to these obstacles. As first-generation college students, Anne and I have experienced both overt and unseen challenges. These challenges have helped shape who we have become today, just as many of you have discovered in your own obstacles.
Andrea and I are the youngest of a family of 7. Our parents immigrated to the United States from Hong Kong and worked relentlessly to support our family. They both recognized the value of education and strongly encouraged us to do something and achieve something they did not have the opportunity to earn, a university education.
Because our parents could not help us navigate the idiosyncrasies of college, neither Anne nor I knew how to or when to apply for college, and we did not understand what the SAT was or how important it was for our futures. Needless to say, college and all of its nuances was an entirely foreign language to us. The only thing we knew with certainty about college was that it was going to be difficult, and it was going to be very expensive. But we knew that it was something we wanted to do and needed to do.
With that, we each worked several jobs prior to attending college. We tossed salads in a restaurant, we dishwashed, we cleaned the restaurant, we mowed lawns, we babysat, we even picked up soggy diapers and rotten milk along the Interstate 5. That was not a delinquent job. We worked relentlessly to pay our own ways through college and never lost sight of our ultimate goal. I vaguely remember a whirlwind of application questions, essays, scholarship applications. I don't know exactly how we did it, but somehow, some way, we completed Western's application.
And since being accepted, Anne and I have made it our goal to not simply graduate, but to make a difference here at Western. We might have had no idea what college was or entailed when we first began, but we worked hard to integrate ourselves into this community, and we have since then
Tutored students in math and science,
played for Western's club tennis team,
enjoyed world-renowned fun Vietnam,
aided in health and environmental chemistry and biochemistry research,
traveled to the universities across the country to conduct research and summer internships on public health, medicine, and biochemistry.
We have co-founded the WWU chapter for the National Society for the Advancement of Chicanos and Native Americans in Science.
We've educated our campus on alcohol and drug use through the Peer Health Educators Program.
And we've organized and executed numerous events and discussion panels here on campus.
We also worked with adults with Parkinson's disease and dementia.
And we've become masters at freeze tag when we spent a summer teaching middle school students through the Teach Washington Noise Summer Internship.
We aren't sharing these experiences with you out of vanity or pride. Rather, we're sharing this with you to illustrate that as college graduates, or more importantly, as Western graduates, we are capable of anything. With a vision, a goal, and most of all, a desire, we can accomplish things we never would have dreamed of.
Every quarter, as part-time jobs to pay tuition, Anne and I worked these commencement ceremonies. And every quarter, I stood in the back of this gym, and I watched hundreds of students cross this stage. And every quarter, I yearned to be one of those students.
We told ourselves that even when we weren't really sure if it was possible, that one day we would cross this stage. Today, we get to do that. Okay, our time limit doesn't allow us to cry, so.
I'll keep going.
Every path we pursue, there will be obstacles. If they don't, we have to ask ourselves if this truly is the path we're taking.
All right. So this brings us to the second major lesson we've learned during our time here at Western. And that's the importance of fostering diversity.
Stop it.
Okay, come on. Okay. So Anne and I have come to appreciate diversity in a broader sense.
Than simply our demographics of our community or the bubbles we fill in on surveys and censuses. Diversity is religion, its orientation, its income, its marital status, its socioeconomic status, its work experience, and its adversity. Diversity is what has made our community here at Western a family, and it is a key to gaining new perspectives and solving our nation's problems for the future. Andrea and I would have never guessed that we would become scientists. Nobody in our family was a scientist. We certainly didn't understand any science, and science did not come easy to us.
Additionally, it became evident to both of us that there was only a small handful of female scientists, an even smaller number of women of color. The odds felt stacked against us, but we were determined to try out science.
Despite our complete lack of knowledge in chemistry, we both spent hours and hours of studying in conjunction with reading our chemistry books cover to cover, doing every single problem at the end of each chapter. My parents even began to wonder if Chem 121 was a course or a new boyfriend because they were seeing so little of us. Before we knew it, we mastered our chemistry courses, and we fell in love with the subject.
We share this story with you to illustrate the necessity of promoting diversity in our communities. When I look back on my experiences in the chemistry major, I feel as though all of my achievements were a product of fortuitous course registration choices, incredible faculty support, and a determination to do well. I was never urged by previous teachers to consider chemistry. Nobody sparked a fire for science in me when I was younger, and I had no scientists as role models.
How we came to be graduating with a degree in science is truly a miracle. But now that we have done it, it is obvious that our past experiences will aid us in many of our scientific endeavors. For many students, like ourselves, their life experience can be used in one of two ways. One, it can preclude them from endeavors and futures that they have never envisioned. Or two, their life can catapult them into uncharted territory to try something new and allow them to introduce their new, unique perspectives to a new field of study.
It's critical that we promote diversity in our fields of study. Diversity is enriching, it's innovative, and it's progressive.
Now that you've endured this address, we will leave you with a final question. Now that you have an education under your belts, and we are on the verge of holding college diplomas in our hands, what will all of you do next?
As Western graduates, many of us have already decided to dedicate ourselves to our communities and to reach out to those who need us. But sometimes in the stress of money, in the allure of self-profit, or by unintentional indifference, we may lose sight of those in our communities who need our help. Those students like my sister and I who needed mentors and role models. We must promote education to those who don't believe they have a chance at it.
As we enter the real world, there will be many more challenges, but even more obstacles and more opportunities. As Western Vikings, we will embrace all of those.
As I see many of you are anxiously awaiting your own chance to step onto this stage, I'll conclude by encouraging you to motivate yourselves and to be ambitious, because the starting point of all achievement is desire.
Thank you.
And congratulations.
Thank you for those stirring words.